Welcome to a vinyasa practice. My name is Kaylee. When you're ready, you can meet me actually on your back. We'll start on the back today. And take a moment just to kind of let yourself sprawl out to have a body. I think a lot of the time we're trying to take up a little less space, whether we're being polite or we're just, on an airplane or in a car or in any situation where the space is limited. And so allow yourself, maybe even move around on the floor on your back. You can circle the ankles, circle the wrists. Shake it out a little bit, gently nod the head, and just feel what it feels like to be in your body. Feel the sensations around your muscles and your skin. Can you feel the sensation of the floor underneath you? Maybe the temperature or the movement of the air in that cushy capsule around the body, right? If you could picture just a centimeter or two of a little cushion around your body in all directions. And once you've landed, go ahead and bend your knees, plant your feet. You can bring the arms into whatever position is comfortable, and then start to slowly toggle your knees side to side. Just check in with how the hips feel, how the low back feels. And eventually, we're going to go ahead and let the knees drop out and the soles of the feet come together. Find Baddha Konasana, or Supta Baddha Konasana, I should say. From here, you can keep the arms the way they are, or bring one hand around your belly and one hand around your heart. And just notice for a moment the movement of your breath. So you can let the body get relatively still so that you can feel that gentle rock, that rhythm of the breath as you breathe in, an expansion, the belly fills, the lungs fill. And as you breathe out, that release, that softening, the belly empties, the chest deflates a little bit. We'll take 3 long breaths together like that. Inhaling, allowing the belly to fill. Let the breath roll through the sides of the ribs, all the way up to the center of the chest. Little pause. And as you exhale, relax the shoulders, the rib cage, and the belly. A long inhale, belly fills, ribs expand all the way to the center of the throat. And exhale, the throat, the ribs, and the belly. Now one more long inhale, let the belly fill up like you're filling a balloon to about 80% full. Keep filling as the breath rolls into the sides of the ribs, expanding the rib cage out to the sides, and then all the way up to the top of the breath, breathing in so much that it's like you can't help but lengthen the spine a little bit more. This time, open your mouth as you exhale, sigh the breath out. And bring the knees into the chest, bring the palms to the kneecaps, and then start to draw opposite circles with your knees. It's a little different than the windshield wipers that we did with the feet down. Switch direction of those knee circles. So kind of a wax on, wax off movement. Let the tailbone tuck and untuck as you move here. Step the feet down about hips distance apart, right underneath your knees. Reach your arms back up over your head. Interlace your fingers. Press the palms away from you. Take a very big inhale right here. As you exhale, release the fingers, tuck the chin to the chest, and curl up into a sit-up. We're going to inhale, reach the arms back overhead again. This time, bring the heels down a little further away from your body. And then same exhale, sit up nice and tall. Maybe your knees, your feet leave the ground and your shins come to a 90-degree angle with the thighs. Moving with long breath. Inhale, heels tap down, arms reach up. Exhale, curl into a tight little ball. Reach your fingers past your feet, or if the heels are down, reach your fingers past your knees. Inhale, roll back, arms back. I'll do a couple in each version. Exhale as you curl up. Inhale, so I've got the heels down for this variation. Exhale, curl up. You might have the heels lifted. We're gonna do 5 more. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, heels are down, fingers reach back. Exhale, curl up. Last one, breathe in. Curl up, hold it here for 3. See if you can float the heels if they're still on the ground. If the heels are off the ground, see if you can start to straighten out the legs, finding high boat, Navasana, maybe turning the palms to face each other, lifting, looking towards your toes. And then seated meditation, cross your ankles, sit down. Let your hands drop onto your knees or your thighs as you sit up nice and tall. And let the eyes close. And just a reminder, right, that we practice as an offering, as a way to take care of ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirit. Maybe for practice today, while you're on your mat, and think about pushing yourself without punishing yourself. For me, this means that I always have permission to back off, to scale down. Right? And it's a practice of listening to the body, of starting to suss out when it's the mind that's saying like, oh, I don't want to do this, versus when it's the body saying, hey, I'm not sure this is a good idea today. Like, I think this might be a little too risky. I think I might actually maybe get hurt, right? When the body is giving you those signals, can we give ourselves permission to back off? It's not that we're not trying hard. It's that we're actually cultivating the skill of listening a little more deeply to what our genuine, our authentic needs are, right? So pushing yourself without it coming from a place of needing to punish ourselves, but rather coming from a place of really wanting to challenge ourselves, because we understand that part of the reason that we are here, that we are alive, is to grow. The only way to grow is to move toward those challenges. Bring the hands to the heart. We'll take an Om together, option to hum instead of oming, or maybe just even listen for the sound. The hum and the Om from a physiological level are so good in terms of like stimulating, or rather regulating, I should say, the vagus nerve. So empty the breath to begin. Just exhale all your air. And then inhale for Om or for your hum. Right into a Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose. Keep your lips sealed. Exhale through your nose. Soft jaw, but gentle constriction in the base of the throat. Blink your eyes open. Reach your arms up. Big breath in. And then reach forward on your exhale. Keep the head lifted. Crawl the fingers forward. Take another breath in. And then relax it down into a forward fold. 2 deep breaths here. Getting into the hips a little bit. Drawing back through the inner thighs. Maybe bringing the outer hips back and letting them be a little heavier. Start to walk the hands back in. We're going to bring the hands all the way behind. Extend the legs forward. Point the toes. Lift the heart. Roll the shoulders down your back. Maybe the chin lifts up. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, flex your feet. Find a nice neutral spine. Reach the arms up. Draw the ribs away from your hips. And then hinge forward, reaching for the soles of the feet or wherever your hands land. Take a breath in as you look toward the toes. And then exhale, melting into that forward fold. 2 deep breaths. Option to give the head a very gentle shake side to side, relaxing out through the back of the skull. And start to walk the hands back in. Cross the ankles. This time plant the hands, find your tabletop position, landing on hands and knees. And then we're going to go ahead and bump the hips side to side. Just a little kind of swing through the hips. Maybe you let the hips actually drop a little bit toward one side. And then toward the other side. Come through the center, fingers are spread out nice and wide, but feel that you're using your arms and your shoulders to press the ground away. And then drop your belly, soften out the elbows as you lift your chin, finding cow. Look over to the left shoulder. Look over to the right shoulder. Through the center, lifting the chin to stretch the throat gently. Take a breath in. And then cat, scoop the tailbone under. Chin moves toward your chest as you round through your spine. Let your shoulders move toward your ears. And back to cow, look over your left shoulder. Take a big breath in. And then cat, as you exhale, right down through the center. Chin tucks toward the midline. Cow, look to the right. Take a breath in. And then cat through the center, around the back, chin to chest. One more each direction. Inhale, cow, looking to the left. Exhale, cat, round the spine through the midline. Cow, inhale, gaze to the right. Cat on the exhale, really curling in. Scoop the tailbone under a little more, lift the abdominal wall up. Find a nice neutral spine, tuck your toes under. And then downward facing dog, press the mat away. You put a really big bend into one knee, and then the other knee. Let's go ahead and lift the heels high. Keep the legs straight if you can. Coming as high up on the balls of the feet as possible. Feel that you're rooting down to the base of your little toe and the base of your big toe. Big toe's easier to find, but can you find that little toe connection as well? Big breath in, and then drive the heels down. Let them get heavy as you exhale. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, drive the heels down. Good, 3 more. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, heels drive down. If they touch the mat, lift the toes off the mat. 2 more. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, heels drive down. Maybe the toes lift and spread. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, heels drive down. Look forward. Bend your knees a bunch, and then take a big step to the top of the mat. We'll land in a halfway stretch. So feet are pretty close together here. Pinky toe side of the foot meets the long edge of the yoga mat in terms of parallel alignment. Breathe in. Catch your calves as you empty. Maybe the chin tucks toward your chest. Do another halfway stretch. This time bring your hands to the hip creases, heels of the hands to the hip creases. Bend the elbows, lengthen out through the sides of the neck. Take a breath in. And then fold forward, slide the hands to the calves, or maybe all the way down to your heels. 1 more halfway stretch. Palms can be on the shins, heels of the hands can be up in line with the hip creases. And then fold forward, let your head completely go. Keep the head and the arms heavy as you slowly unroll. Strong through your legs, stacking the hips over the heels, and then the arms reach up. Wrists, shoulders, hips, heels, all in line. Take a very deep inhale. Bring the hands to the heart, and then exhale, Tadasana. Release the arms to the side. Palms face forward, shoulders melt down your back. Surya Namaskar A. Reach up on the inhale. Fold forward, long exhale, empty all the breath. See if you can make it smooth. Halfway stretch, take a breath in. Plant the hands, this time step back to plank pose, rock forward, lower up to halfway or all the way down. Cobra or up dog. Finishing an inhale, maybe pausing for a moment as you lift your chest. And then downward facing dog, hinge from the hips. Set your eyes to one spot back toward your knees or your navel and breathe. 1 more big full inhale right where you are. Finish your exhale, hold the exhale out of your lungs. Look forward on empty lungs, step lightly, or maybe you invite a hop to the top of your mat. Halfway stretch once you land, breathe in. Fold forward and empty. Rise all the way up, finishing the inhale at the top of the stretch. And then Tadasana, release the shoulders, nose points forward. Inhale, reach up, maybe you look up, pressing the hips forward gently. And then hinge at your hips and bow on the exhale. Each round get a little smoother. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, high plank to low plank, up to halfway or all the way down. You can always use your knees. Up dog, press into the tops of the feet, or cobra, lift your chest. And then downward facing dog. Set your eyes to one spot, rest in your breath. And lift the heels, breathe in. Empty all your breath, step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Halfway stretch, big breath in. Chest to thighs, empty it all, tuck your chin. Rise on the inhale, maybe you look up. This time cactus the elbows, point your nose forward on the exhale. Interlace your hands at your lower back, lift the heart, lift the chin, so now we're gazing up, fill the lungs. And keep that bind as you fold forward nice and slow, melting your chest onto your thighs, curling your chin in. Try and seal the palms of the hands together, and then just gently rock the shoulders side to side. So you can find a little more space there. We'll release the bind, find a halfway stretch, take a breath in. Plant the hands, step back and cycle through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. You can always take a tabletop and a cow instead of chaturanga and up dog. You land in downward facing dog. Keep the hips square. Reach the right leg back in space behind you, pointing through your right toes strong and long through the arms. And then lift your left heel so you're on the ball of the left foot. Keep working to square that right hip. I know mine wants to peel open as well. And that's a-okay. We're not like coming at this from a place of rigidity or discipline. We're coming at it from a place of wanting to really build a little bit of awareness. Can you notice if that hip's popping open or if you can keep it square? Big breath in. Bring your right knee to your right elbow, shift forward, reach the crown of the head forward, your shoulders are right over your wrists and you're driving down with strong arms. Kick right leg back, big breath in. We're gonna step the right foot through the thumbs, soften the back knee down. As you find Anjaneyasana, you can keep the back toes tucked or untuck them. And start to feel into the stretch in the hips. Maybe you wiggle the ribs side to side, add a little rotation. We're gonna stack the hips over that bent back knee. So instead of letting your hips drop way far forward for a moment, you stack the hips over that back knee and then tuck the tailbone under a little bit. Imagine that you're pulling that front heel backward. You're trying to slide your right heel underneath your right hip. At the same time, imagine that you're sliding your left kneecap forward toward the top of the mat. Take a big breath in. We're gonna find Hanumanasana next. You've got a couple variations. Maybe you choose to wing the arms or interlace. Alternately, you can frame that front leg. We've got 3 deep breaths here. Sometimes folks prefer sitting down on the back heel. Sometimes it feels nice to keep the hips lifted and hinge forward with a lifted hip. 2 more rounds of breath. Maybe you close your eyes and really see if you can feel the sensation of this stretch. We're not rushing the breath, so long, smooth breath. 1 more. Finish the exhale where you are. Let the muscles of the face relax. And then we're gonna find a high crescent lunge. Take your time to rebend the front knee, tuck the back toes, and reach the arms up and lift that back knee up. Get real strong through that back leg, lifting your left thigh away from the ground. And then let your hips get a little lower as you keep rooting down to the base of your right big toe. Hips are sinking downward with strong, strong legs, even as the heart lifts up. Maybe the eyes move up toward the ceiling or the sky, perhaps the palms touch, and you gaze toward your thumbs, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, high to low push-up or straight to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, lift your hips downward facing. Left leg lifts, try and keep the hip relatively square here. Put a little micro bend in the elbows and then straighten out the arms so you can get a little bit more length. Lifting up onto the ball of the right foot. Putting as much space between your fingertips and your left toes as you possibly can. Breathe in. Knee to the left elbow, shift forward, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Kick back, three-legged, finish an inhale, point the toes. And then step between the thumbs, soften the back knee. Anjaneyasana. So maybe you settle in for a moment, kind of like I have, and let the hips melt forward. Either way, so if you're here, can you lift out of the low back? Use your legs, particularly that back leg, and then go ahead and shift the hips back. Lengthen out of the lower back, tiny tuck of the tailbone, energetically gliding that left heel back and that right kneecap forward. Full breath in. Hanumanasana, your version. Hands can frame the front foot, hips can stay lifted for that hinge, or you sink your hips back and down. Set your eyes to one spot, maybe your left big toe, maybe inside of your left knee. 2 more deep breaths. Practicing really tuning into the body. And noticing, right, when the mind is like, ugh, I don't want to do this, versus when the body might be like, this ain't a good idea, right? And how do we respond to those different bits of input? Start to work your way to a high crescent lunge. Ironically, I feel like, at least for myself, I have this not lovely habit of overriding my body and giving into that like self-doubt part of the mind, right? Which over time just kind of erodes our sense of self-efficacy when we give into the part of the mind that's like, ugh, I don't want to do this. And perhaps even end up creating a little bit of injury when we're overriding the part of the body that's asking us to back off. Breathe in wherever you are. And then vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog, right? So the work here on the mat is starting to unpack which is which for you. How do you know that you're listening to your body versus giving into the doubts of your mind? Lift the heels, look forward. Empty the breath, step lightly, or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Let's roll all the way up to stand, right away on the inhale. And then cactus the elbows, point the nose forward. On the exhale, lengthen the low back. Interlace your fingers, tug the knuckles down, lift the chin, stretch through your chest as you breathe in. And then bow forward, long breath out. Release the bind, find a halfway stretch. This time bring your fingers down on the mat, right in line with your toes. And we're gonna step the left foot to the back. High crescent lunge, reach the arms up, big stretch through the fingers. And then lightning crescent this time. Start to shift your weight forward. So instead of using momentum, we're gonna start to come up onto the left tippy toes, maybe just the left big toe. Start to glide that foot forward, push more into your right foot until you can't help but finding airplane pose. Set the eyes to one spot and find your breath. Letting the inhales help fuel you, help brighten the shape. And on the exhales, feel yourself firmly but gently rooted down through that right foot for 3. Long through the sides of the neck for 2. We're going to take a big step back, reverse warrior. Step back, the left toes are pointing either toward the left or maybe slightly toward the top of the mat and leftward. Right toes, right knee, point straight forward. Peeling open through the right side body, put a little more distance between your right pinky finger and your right pinky toe. Breathe in, dragonfly twist. We're gonna bring the left hand down, spin the left heel up. Hug in with that back thigh. As you twirl your right arm up and open, let the hips get a little lower, let the heart lift, and almost like you're kind of extending the back, leaning back a little bit here. Breathe in, nice and deep. Plant the top hand, standing split. Lifting your left leg up, bringing your nose toward your right knee, and then perhaps bringing one or both of your hands toward your right ankle or calf. Alternately, maybe you play with a different arm variation. You can take airplane arms in your standing split, or interlace in your standing split. 3, nice, smooth, steady breath. 2, we keep our standing split, bring the hands down. You're either gonna stay in standing split for another inhale or find a high push-up. If you choose to stay in standing split, high push-up, folks, just hang there, stay strong as you breathe. If you're working this transition from standing split, we're gonna bring the hands down underneath the shoulders, lift the right heel up. So you're balancing on the palms and the right heel. Start to bend into the right knee, bend into the elbows. And then we're gonna hop back to a 3-point chaturanga. Exhale. So low push-up or 3-point chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, lift the chest, big in-breath. And then downward facing dog, exhale. Clear it out, breathe in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Lift the right leg high, breathe in. Bring your right knee to your left elbow and then shoot that leg out for fallen triangle, lifting the left arm. Right wrist is right underneath the right shoulder, and I'm using that right shoulder for stability more than I'm using my wrist here. Breathe in. I'm gonna sit down and fold over the back leg, gazing toward the back of your space or bringing your nose down toward your left knee. Stay here, 2 more deep breaths. Finishing that exhale, working your way back to your fallen triangle. Press the ground away with that right hand and shoulder, lift the left arm, turn your left toes to point to the left, and then press that foot down as we float the right leg up. Holy smokes, breathe in. Bring the left hand back down, right leg kicks back. Bend your right knee, look underneath the left underarm, stay here, or flip your dog. In flip dog, press firmly but gently into the ground with your feet. Squeeze the inner thighs toward each other and then lengthen your tailbone away from your heart. Take a big breath in. Start working your way back to 3-legged dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Step both of your feet to the top of the mat. Rise all the way up. Long inhale. Cactus elbows. Exhale. Interlace at the low back. Breathe in. Bow forward as you breathe out. Halfway stretch, fingers in line with your toes. Step the right foot to the back of the mat this time, finding a high crescent lunge. Firming through your back leg. Finding a focal point for your eyes, for your mind. Maybe your breath works for the mind. And then we're gonna lightning crescent ourselves. Lengthen the low back here. So just shift the weight forward into that front foot, dragging the right toe down until you lift off into your airplane. And can we find this really nice alertness, but a calm quality as well? So talking to a pilot actually about this, and he was saying like a lot of flying an airplane is just being on autopilot, right? But even on autopilot, there's this readiness. There's a calm but focused readiness to respond when turbulence happens or something else, right? So maybe it's not turbulence per se, but a life event. Take a big step back, reversing your warrior, making space between the left fingers and the left toes. Using your breath to fill that space in the left side of your waist, the left side of your ribs, your underarm, breathing in. Dragonfly twist, bringing the right hand down, getting active in that right leg as that heel spins up, and then squeeze the thighs toward each other, let the hips melt, lift your heart, and even lean back a little bit. Nice, very big inhale. Standing split. I'm sliding this foot back because I know that I'm going to want my hands to be able to drop underneath the shoulders for the transition that I'm going to choose to play with after we find our balance, or after we practice finding the balance, right? So sometimes the most worthwhile work on our mat is not when we're like nailing the postures, but rather when the body is maybe a little shaky, a little wobbly. It means we're asking the body to do something a little new, and we're giving it this stimulus so that it can start to send resources into building those new neuromuscular connections, right? Deepening the mind-body connection, really. Option to find a high push-up, or to bring the palms down, shoulder distance apart, lift up onto the left heel, shoulders are over the wrists, start to bend into that standing knee, look forward, breathe in. We're all gonna find a version of a low push-up. Maybe that's a 3-point chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Press into the tops of both feet, breathe in. And then downward facing dog, finish the breath out. Left leg lifts, breathing in. Take it to the right elbow, shoot it out, fall in triangle, put a lot of space between the heels, and then sit down onto your butt, folding over your back leg. Find your breath. Now one more long inhale. Slow, controlled exhale. Feel the diaphragm lift, and then work your way back to fall in triangle, pressing the ground away, coming onto that back foot so that you can float the left foot. Big breath in. Bring the right hand down. We kick back to three-legged. Bend the left knee. Stay there. Or flip your dog. In flip dog, feel where your feet are. See if you can feel that they're about hips distance. They might be a little wider. Feel where the toes are pointing. They could be pointing straight in line with the heels, or you might have a slightly outward turn of the toes. Find your breath, finishing an inhale. Start working back to three-legged dog on the exhale. Left leg lengthens back, breathe in. Step both of your feet to the top of the mat. Roll it up slowly, finishing an inhale as you reach. Cactus elbows on the breath out. Listen, we're gonna reach back up, big breath in. Find an open arm twist toward the right side of your space. Stay here or lift up onto the balls of the feet. Stay there, or whether the heels are lifted or not, you've got the option to start to bend the knees, finding an open arm chair twist or an open arm toe stand. In toe stand, we're working to bring the leg bones parallel to the ground and the spine perpendicular. From wherever you landed, we're going to come back to standing tall at the top, arms up, breathing in, heels are down. Open arm twist to the left, really gazing back toward your back thumb. Option to lift the heels, keep the spine long. Option to bend into the knees, open arm chair twist or open arm toe stand. Calm, steady breath, hug the thighs together. We're all gonna come standing tall at the top, heels drop down, gaze moves up on the in-breath, and then bow forward as you empty. We're gonna flow through our vinyasa, breathing in. Step back or hop to chaturanga on the breath out. We'll meet in downward facing dog, and then we're gonna put that sequence together just a tiny bit differently. Right leg lifts, breathing in. Left elbow, shoot it out, finding fallen triangle, breath in. Sit down and fold over the back leg just for your long breath out. Back to fallen triangle, we inhale up, maybe float that foot, and then exhale, top hand down. Take it into wild thing this time so that right knee stays bent the whole time as you rotate up and open, reaching the right fingertips away from your right underarm, breathe in. Exhale, bring that top hand back down, right knee, right elbow, holy smokes, kick back, three-legged dog, breath in. Is it the second time I've said that? Step through, high crescent lunge. Inhale, it's one of those practices, right into airplane on your exhale. Step back into reverse warrior, finish the inhale. Dragonfly twist as you empty, look toward your top hand, breathe in. Standing split or high push-up. Take a big breath in. If you're in standing split, here's your prep. And then chaturanga, step or hop back. Inhale, cobra or up dog, push into the tops of the feet, lift the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog, doing great. Use your breath, left leg lifts on the inhale. Right elbow, shoot it out as you exhale. Falling triangle, breathe in. Sit down and fold over the back leg as you breathe out. Back to fallen triangle. We're using long breath. Float the left foot. And then right hand comes down, bend the left knee. Wild thing, left toes behind you, lift the hips. Reach that left arm long. Big, big breath in. We're gonna bring the left hand down, left knee to left elbow on the breath out. Back to three-legged, inhale. Step between the thumbs, exhale, high crescent, reach up, press the ground away. And then airplane, launch forward. Reverse warrior, make it smooth, or just embrace the wobbles. And then dragonfly twist. Eyes up as you fill your lungs. Standing split, either high plank or lift that left heel, breathe in. Low push up, step or hop it back. Inhale up. Exhale, down dog. Clear it out, one big breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Lift the heels, look forward. We're moving through the whole thing, one round, step or hop to the top. Halfway stretch, take a breath in. Fold forward and empty. Rise all the way up on the inhale. Open arms on the exhale, stay or lift the heels, breathe in. Stay or bend the knees, breathe out. Inhale, rise it tall. Exhale, open to your left, long spine. Maybe the heels lift. Maybe the knees bend. Stand tall on the inhale, heels down, eyes up. And then fold forward, long exhale. Keep your breath smooth, halfway stretch, breathe in. Vinyasa, step or float back. Remember, you can find a tabletop instead of a chaturanga. Cow, up dog, or cobra, breathe in. Down dog, as you empty right leg, inhale it high. Exhale to the left elbow, shoot it out wide, breathe in. Sit down and fold over that back leg on your breath out. Back to your fallen triangle, inhale. Top hand down, we work to wild thing. Right toes to the back, onto the space behind the mat as you lift. Right hand down, right knee, right elbow. Kick back, three-legged, maybe you point the right toes. Exhale, step between the thumbs, high crescent. Finish your inhale. Airplane, launch forward just for your exhale. Reverse warrior, peel open and fill up. Dragonfly twist, nice long inhale. Standing split, set it up on the exhale, either high push up or prep for that hop back, breathe in. Hop back or vinyasa, we will meet in downward facing dog. And one more side to go, biggest, fullest breaths of your practice. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, right elbow, shoot it out. Fallen triangle, fill your lungs. Sit down and fold over your back leg as you empty it all out. Back to fallen triangle, breathe in. We're gonna bend the left knee, bring that right hand down, left leg spins behind you, wild thing. Inhale. Left knee, left elbow, hand to the mat, exhale. Three-legged, breathe in. Step between the thumbs, finish the breath out. We're so deliberate here. Inhale, high crescent. Exhale, airplane pose. Reverse, wind it open, fill up. Dragonfly, as you empty, gaze toward the top hand, take a big breath in. Standing split on the breath out. High push up or prep for that hop back, inhale. Vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog. From down dog, big cleansing breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Walk, step, or float your feet forward. Rise it all the way up, breathe in. And then arms to the side, find Tadasana, palms face forward. Look as far as you comfortably can to the right, breathing in. And then as far as you comfortably can to the left, breathing out. Look forward, sweep the arms up on the inhale. And then we're gonna bring the arms back down to the side as you exhale. I'm gonna turn around just to show this next part. You're gonna take your right hand across the small of the back and look for the left elbow or the left upper arm. Once you've got that arm, that bind, we're gonna go ahead and bring the left ear toward the left shoulder. With the left ear tilted to the left, play around with tilting your chin down or bringing your chin up, still left to the left. And maybe you just explore that a little bit here. Find a spot that feels like a nice stretch and let yourself stay there. Maybe you close the eyes. And notice what's going on in the lower back. Can you bring your hips over your heels a little bit more instead of sticking the butt back? It's still long in the spine, even as the head is tilted to the side. Take a big breath in. Slowly exhale, release the arm, chin to the chest. Blink your eyes open if they're closed, reach up, take a breath in. And then Tadasana as you empty. This time that left arm comes across the back, catching the right upper arm or the right elbow. And then we go right ear toward the right shoulder. Something that's really common here is to kind of stick the butt out. See if you can stand up a little bit taller, even as you keep that side bending motion just in the neck. So the rest of the spine is pretty much straight up and down from your tailbone all the way up through the breastbone. And we're just inviting that side stretch into the cervical spine, nodding the chin down and up, keeping the right ear to the right. Forgot to mention that part. Find a spot that feels good. Close the eyes and just stretch the breath. Let the body open as you stretch the breath here. And one more long inhale. Chin to the chest, release the arms. Circle the arms up, circle the wrists out. And then we're gonna paint the wall a couple times. So wrists flip toward the ceiling or the sky, take a breath in. And then release the arms down by your side, flick the palms to face up behind you. Inhale, wave the arms up. Exhale, palms press up behind you. We're adding on, inhale, reach up. This time as you exhale, same arms, but hinge the hips, soften the knees. Inhale, roll it up, straight legs. Exhale, sweep it back. See if you can make this a little smoother. On those exhales on the way down, you might even take it into a forward fold, drinking bird, where the fingers point up and the head is down. 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down to whatever degree feels good in your body. 2 more. Move with your breath. See if you can smooth it out. And then again, this last one, stretch the breath. Let the body respond to the breath. Opening and releasing down. Go ahead and bend the knees, sit down onto your butt. We're gonna come into a 90-90 position here. So feet pretty wide. We'll start actually in a seated bear. Feet wide, bring the arms to the inside of the knees, palms facing kind of outward away from you and sort of toward each other. To push, thumbs are pointing away from each other. That makes more sense. There you go. Push the knees into the elbows or the upper arms or wherever on the arms you're connected, and then resist that with the arms. So dynamically push the arms out as the knees hug in. Sit tall, chin toward your chest for 3. Relax your toes for 2. Relax the tips of your fingers, and then relax that tension. Toggle the knees toward one side. Maybe we rotate and reach across. Come back through that seated bear, and then toggle to the other side. Little rotate, reach across. Nice and slow. You can always use your hands back behind you here. Just rolling side to side. And then the next time you end up in the center, we'll pause there. Scoot your butt back. Extend the legs away from midline. Flex your feet. And bring one hand in front of your hips and one hand behind. Lift the hips slightly and then send the tailbone back behind you. So if that didn't make a ton of sense from that front view, oftentimes we're sitting like this when we land and we've got a little rounding. We want to have the opposite. So we're actually going to stick the butt back in space. Yeah, cool. From here, reach your left arm up. Bring your right hand underneath your left thigh. And and then find your side bend here. You stay here, bend that top elbow a little bit, look toward the ceiling or the sky. And we're gonna go ahead and bring both hands to frame that right leg and fold forward. Let your head drop. Not trying to overdo this, just finding the stretch. There's a little bit of a side bend or a lot of a side bend, as well as maybe a slight forward fold. Lots going on in the spine here. You might have spots that are slightly extending and spots that are slightly flexing. And see if you can find that sweet, sweet rhythm to your breath. So you're breathing in a way that supports your mind. It becomes like an anchor, a meditation, and supports your body. Using the breath, stretching the breath, and allowing the body to open and soften. Start to lift yourself up, come through neutral, pause in the middle. Maybe you drop one ear toward one shoulder, other ear toward the other shoulder. We'll reach the right arm up. Bring the left fingers underneath that right thigh, really crawl them back, and then find that side bend. Bend the top elbow and gaze up. Keep your eyes up. If you want, you straighten out that arm, but keep the gaze upward. Close the eyes if you like, but keep that rotation where the heart's spinning forward and slightly upward, almost like you're leaning back into the side bend. And then go ahead and release into a forward fold, framing that leg as you let your head drop. And just notice what it feels like to stop trying to stretch the muscles and start efforting very gently to stretch your breath. Let the body open as you stretch the breath, making the inhales a little bit longer. And then exhales a little bit more complete, fully emptying your lungs of air. And start to lift up through the center. We're going to bring the legs gently together. Maybe you use your hands. Bend the knees, feet are hips distance or a little wider. Reach the arms around the shins. And then drop your head between your knees. At this point, maybe you step the feet a little closer together. We're in a seated child's pose. Engage the abdominal wall, so pull the abs in and back as you start to round into your lower back even more. And breathing into the back side of your lungs. See if you can breathe down toward that low back, toward the kidneys, toward the adrenals, like that flank area in the back side of the body. And then we're going to start to lift the head and the neck. And reach the arms up over your head. Keep the chin tucked round the spine. Slowly, slowly reverse sitting up to lie down. Reach the arms over your head. Let your low back peel away from the mat. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Walk the feet in a little bit closer. Drive the elbows down, fingers are pointing up. Tuck the tailbone and lift your hips, finding bridge. In this version of bridge, press the elbows down. Find the lats, so the sides of the back. Big, huge muscles on the back. Hold here for 3. Continue to breathe for 2. Press down a little bit more for 1. And then relax the hips down. Inhale, the arms go back over your head. We're going to do 3 more of those. Exhale, elbows down, hips lift. Hold for 4. 3, relax the brow and the jaw. 2, 1, release the hips, arms go back. We've got 2 more. Option to find wheel instead if you'd prefer. Lift and hold this time for 5. Firmly but gently pressing the ground away for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hips, arms back. Big release on the inhale. Last time, bridge variation or wheel for 10. Close your eyes, move the breath, stretch the breath. 8, 7, 6, Firm but gentle pressure into the mat beneath you. 4, 3, 2, take a big breath in. And then relax the hips down, reach your arms back over your head, straighten the legs out in front of you, flex the feet, heels press away, toes pull in. Breathe here, and then when you're ready, we're going to release the arms to the side and find Shavasana. Let the feet drift farther away from one another. Nod the head slowly from side to side once you land. Wiggle the feet around or flop the feet around, eventually letting the feet splay open, letting the palms turn face up, slowing down any movement of the head and the neck. Continuing to slow it down so much so that it eventually just becomes stillness. And give yourself permission to be in Shavasana. Sometimes Shavasana is the biggest push, right? The mind can get real cranky about this. I don't want to do it. This isn't good for me. There's other things that I should be spending my time on, right? Chatter, chatter, monkey mind. So this might be, for some of us, the most challenging moment. See if you can push yourself to let go. Stay here for just a few more moments, allowing yourself to practice that letting go, to not give up on it, but to rather let it go. And listen for my voice shortly to end our practice. Stay here just a little longer as you scan your body, scan your mind, and noticing whatever arises, the sensations in the body, the thoughts that maybe populate your mind, and planting the seed or watering the seed, this thought of pushing ourselves without punishing ourselves. Pushing from a space of compassion, from a space that understands that we are here in large part to grow, and that growth, there's no growth without a little bit of discomfort, without embracing and moving toward things that challenge us. Ready, you can start to circle your ankles and your wrists, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take some deeper breaths as you work your way into the fetal position, perhaps first along the way. You can take a breath or two there. Eventually find a seat. When you do land, sit up tall. Bring one palm to your heart and cover it with the other palm. And then move the hands up a little closer so that you can actually feel like at least one of your fingers around that notch at the base of the throat. And we'll feel for the vibration of either an om or a hum, right? An om really does turn into a hum, feeling into that connection with our body and our own power to regulate our nervous system a little bit, yeah? Exhale the breath from your lungs completely. And then inhale for om or for hum. Feel the resonance. When you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Thank you so much for sharing your practice. I appreciate you deeply, deeply. If you have questions, reach out. Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon.